I got home 2 hours early that Tuesday. Rain on the windshield, a warm bag of Lily's snickerdoodles on the seat, thinking I'd play hero with a surprise, and the house felt still in that way that makes your shoulders rise before you know why. Then I heard a voice I knew too well, sharp enough to slice the air, and a plastic crack that didn't sound like an accident. I pushed the den door, and there it was, in one unkind frame, my daughter small on the rug, one crutch snapped and the other tossed aside, water spreading across a fancy rug we never needed, and Bianca, 14 months wearing my last name, standing there in those pointy heels, with a face that flipped from fury to innocence the second she saw me. I didn't yell. I just knelt, touched Lily's shoulder, asked where it hurt, listened to her whisper about going too slow, and when I held the broken crutch in my hand and asked Bianca if she put hands on my kid, she laughed that glassy laugh and called Lily manipulative. And in that moment, something old in me stood up. The kid who got mocked for stuttering, the man people called numbers boy, like being good with patterns meant you couldn't be good with people. And I said, go upstairs now, and for once she listened to the quiet instead of the volume. Lily told me the rest in pieces. The names, the threats when I wasn't home, the thing that hurt most, that Bianca called her mom weak. And we iced her ankle, cued her audiobook, ordered new crutches before morning. Then I sat at my desk and opened the security app and found nothing. Every camera feed wiped clean, the cloud backups gone, the logs scrubbed like a burglar who knew the system better than the owner. And when I reached for the folder labeled Emily, medical, and found the space empty, the little gnats I'd been swatting away became a swarm I couldn't pretend not to see. In the bottom drawer, I found the envelope I kept refusing to open. Emily's handwriting, shaky but faithful, for Daniel. If things ever feel wrong, a page about bottles, not where she left them, tea that tasted off someone a little too eager to help. And maybe I'm paranoid, she wrote. But if I'm gone and something doesn't sit right, look deeper for Lily. The next morning, I sat in Dr. Patel's office while Lily drew blue butterflies in the playroom, and when he slid me a slim envelope, his voice gentle. The way good men sound, when they're holding something heavy, he said. Emily came to him alone 2 months before she passed, left a note saying, if I ever started asking questions, show him this, she worried. Bianca had become strangely involved with her meds, and the paper trembled in my hand in a way I refused to let my voice do. St. Bridget's records room didn't hand me a smoking gun. It handed me toner and dust and grids and patterns. Never lie 3 nighttime entries of a sedative at a dosage that never appeared on her chart. Initials BC. Not a nurse, not a doctor. Bianca Cole, then a visitor log marked family care proxy, and the kind of signature that tries to look casual and ends up guilty and right. Then a man in a tan blazer stepped in with that polite threat smile, says he's counsel for Ms. Cole, and I'm in files that may not be mine, tells me to think of my daughter of the press like a man who doesn't know I already am. I photographed everything, drove home on a road that felt narrower than usual, called Jonah Vega, my PI for hard problems and quiet exits, and told him to dig like our lives depended on it, names, old addresses, any state where Bianca didn't go by Bianca, especially. Anything around Emily's last month, and Jonah said 48, which in his language means thank me later. That night, Bianca tried the kitchen scene with green juice like discipline in a bottle. I told her she wiped the cameras at 10:13 p.m. 3 nights back. An admin action, not a glitch. She called me sentimental and said Emily was tired. She made it clean, and my chest went the kind of cold that makes the edges of the room show up. Then I told her to pack to be gone before Lily woke up. Yeah, that happened. 2 days later, in a diner that still smelled like pancakes from 1988, Jonah slid a flash drive across the table and said, "You won't like this," and he was right. Bianca was an alias. She'd worn two others the last decade. There was a quiet settlement in Arizona around a hospice death before that. A caregiver stint in Jersey that ended with a morphine overdose and a payout. No one wanted to talk about. She found families like ours. Grief rich and time poor. Got close, left when it got hot. And on top of that, he had a storage unit on the east side tied to a shell, said she went in late last night and came out with a small box with a red strap. Probably nothing, he said, and I was already standing. The air inside the unit smelled like dust and lavender that had given up, and in the back, in a plain box with loose flaps, I found Emily's journals, photos, and an unlabeled bottle of the same sedative, the cap design matching a recalled batch Jonah had seen in another case. And I took pictures of everything and swore to touch nothing else except I'd already crossed a line, right? And you can say what you want in the comments, but sometimes you choose between a clean conscience and a safe child. You know what I mean. That night, Ruth Delgado filed an emergency motion. Judge Whitaker looked like a man allergic to theater. We laid out the chain. Cameras wiped forged proxy med spikes, storage unit, a baby monitor. Lily had accidentally left recording. Ruth pressed play, and the room heard Bianca's voice, flat and mean. "Get up, stop pretending your mom gave up," and the judge raised his palm and said he had enough to protect the child. Issued the order, and outside Bianca hissed like a cat that finally realized the glass was real. She tried one last thing, booked a one-way under a new name. Jonah pinged me. I called Sergeant Naomi Price, who has exactly zero interest in my money, and 2 tons of interest in evidence. Told her. The flight asked, "Can you stop her?" She said, "Watch me," and at 9:12 p.m., I got the text in custody, and I exhaled so hard my vision blinked. The trial wasn't fireworks. It was bricks, one at a time. The oncologist who testified to unexplained spikes, the estate attorney who walked the jury through faxed documents, traced back to our machine, the handwriting analyst who tied aliases to the same careful hand, and then Lily closed courtroom, small chair, elephant, plush, steady voice. She took my crutches when I was slow, she said. Mom was selfish for dying, and I sat in a side room and learned how to breathe through a heart that wanted to break and still keep going. The bomb we didn't know we had was a voicemail, pulled from a retired nurse's phone. Emily's voice, thin but clear. "If something happens, please tell Daniel I didn't mean to shut him out. I think Bianca is doing something. Please don't leave Lily with her if I go." And I watched the defense flinch like truth finally found the bone. Bianca tried the martyr script on the stand. I was there when no one else was. I gave up my life, and Prosecutor Torres didn't raise her volume. She raised the facts, held up a caregiver application tied to a dead teenager's identity used years later, with Bianca's face asked one question that won't stop echoing in my head. When Emily asked not to leave Lily alone with you. What do you think she was afraid of? And the silence did the rest. The jury came back faster than I expected. Guilty on identity theft, forgery, elder abuse, child endangerment, medical fraud, and then the one ghosts care about, involuntary manslaughter. The sentence later was 25 to life with parole. Talk so far off. It might as well be missed, and no, I didn't cheer. I looked at Lily in the safe room down the hall and said with my mouth and my eyes, "It's over." Except healing isn't a montage. It's oatmeal that goes cold while you sign school forms. It's physical therapy where 3 steps feel like a mountain. And then one Saturday, a swing that finally moves. It's garlic in a pan because your kid says it smells like safety. It's the first night she sleeps straight through the hour the hallway used to creak, and it's starting something in Emily's name. A reading room, and a garden, and a wall of letters. Because Lily said she wanted kids who feel invisible to get mail that says they aren't, and the mailbox started filling with handwriting that looked like hope. Here's the part that makes people argue, And I'm not mad at that. The storage unit, the lock, the line I crossed. Would you have done it, or should I have waited for a warrant? While a woman with 4 names and a suitcase made for disappearing found her next family, Mark. Your line, tell me if the court got it right. Tell me if I got it wrong. Tell me if you've seen the halo used to hide horns, because somebody watching this is stuck in a house that sounds like mine. Did that Tuesday, and they need to hear a stranger say, "You're not crazy, you're not dramatic, you're just early to the truth." If you felt Lily deserved protection the first time someone called her slow tap, like so, this story finds a parent who needs a nudge and, more important, jump in below, not with speeches, with real talk. Where do you stand on right versus legal, when systems move slow and predators move fast? Have you crossed a line to draw one? What did it cost you? What did it save? Because justice isn't a speech. It's 1,000 little choices strangers make when they decide not to look away. And today, I didn't look away. And maybe that nudge is yours next. You know what I mean?